Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Video Clips. I usually cover consequences. I'm going to go back to doing that some Fridays. And this is very sad, and I'm going to share some highlights of this story that appeared in a newspaper in Illinois. The family of a high school athlete who took his own life in October is suing Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and the Illinois High School Association over the state's youth sports restrictions. 18-year-old Trevor Till of Mason, Illinois, died on October 20th after being socially isolated for months due to the pandemic. His mother, Lisa Moore, said, "He thrived on being busy," she said. "He thrived on his relationships at school. He was a kid who needed other kids." And I would add to that, I think all kids need other kids. I think all people need to be around other people. That's part of what the whole strategy's been here, is to separate everybody from everybody. In a post on the Illinois High School Sports Central Facebook page, Lisa wrote that prior to the pandemic, Trevor had been class president, National Honor Society president, drum major, and heavily involved in band, chorus, and other school clubs. In March, just before Pritzker issued the state's first stay-at-home order, Trevor even played the lead in his school's fall musical, The Music Man. After the pandemic struck, however, Trevor was never the same, Moore wrote. He was so sad he didn't have his senior year track season. No prom was a huge blow, too. Trevor missed the interaction with his friends and educators. Zoom is not enough. That post caught the attention of Remember America Action, a conservative group that touts itself as being at the forefront of helping businesses and individuals fight the COVID nonsense. And the group's attorney filed suit Monday in LaSalle County Circuit Court. According to Lisa, her son had gone to state pole vaulting championships his sophomore year and missed going his junior year by just 3 inches and dreamed of returning to the state championship his senior year and was pretty devastated when that didn't happen. According to the suit, that was the final blow that led to Trevor's death, approximate cause of which was Governor Pritzker's restrictions on high school sports programs. In July, the governor imposed restrictions on youth sports based on the amount of contact between athletes during play. And as a result, seasons were rescheduled for high-risk sports like football from fall 2020 to spring 2021. Lower risk sports that were set to start this winter were canceled as the virus spiked in Illinois in late November, with IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson saying earlier this month that the association now has no expectations of starting low-risk winter sports before 2021. There's no rational, one of the things that's said in this whole thing, there's no rational or reasonable basis to prohibit certain high school sports while at the same time allowing the same sports to be played by college and professional athletes, the suit claims. IHSA's cancellation of the winter sports season is referred to as an arbitrary and invidious discrimination against parents of children attending high school in Illinois. And I think that's one of the things that is difficult about all of this, is the arbitrary nature of this whole thing. You can pack them into Walmart, but you can't go to the flower shop down the street, which doesn't make any sense. Well, Trevor started college at the University of Illinois in the fall of last year, but, quote, the mother says, it wasn't the college experience he had hoped for. For one, he'd planned to head to campus early for marching band, but that didn't happen. So in fact, he lost all his music too, his mother Lisa said, which is such a big part of his life. Then he moved into his dorm and his roommate was supposed to be from India, and obviously he didn't come, so he was in a room by himself. He wasn't really comfortable with that, the mother continued. He tried to talk to the RA, but there supposedly was nothing that could be done. In hindsight, I sure wish I had pushed for him to get into a room with someone else. Without a roommate, with COVID and nothing going on campus, it was him sitting there hour after hour by himself. It just breaks my heart. Trevor joined some campus clubs, but they were virtual and didn't fill the gap in his life. He had planned to see a counselor, but his mother doesn't know if he ever did. School officials won't tell her. I knew he was sad, but I didn't know how sad he was, the mother said. She wishes the school had done more to ensure her son and other students were okay, all in the name of keeping them safe. We'll let them kill themselves, but we'll keep them safe from the virus. I mean, I'm so infuriated about this, I can't begin to tell you. And the mother is too. She says, they say there's all this stuff they're doing, but it's not like they say on TV at all. I'm so sorry I sent my son there. he would be here. They should have been knocking on doors, doing more wellness checks, just something to check on these kids' well-being, especially since he didn't have a roommate. The effect on all these kids' psyches, we haven't even begun to feel the long-term effects on these kids. Moore was the last person to talk to Trevor. He didn't check out of his dorm again until somebody found him. She talked to him on a Sunday night, and then he was found on Wednesday. Nobody even checked on him. In other words, this kid was dead in his dorm room for quite a while before somebody finally went looking for him. So now we all go on, his mother says. Me, his father, his 4 siblings. The guilt and the heartbreak is something I wouldn't wish on anybody. It's horrible. It's just horrible. The boy could have done anything. She goes on to say, I think we're hurting these kids mentally more than we're protecting them from COVID. I honestly believe my son would be here if there was no COVID, or if COVID was handled differently. I know he would be here today had he finished a normal senior year and had he had a normal college situation. I miss him so much. And one thing, some of you have received emails from me. I've said I would not send a child of mine to any college or university that has all this nonsense going on. There is absolutely nothing going on in these places that can't wait until after our lawsuits work and all that sort of thing. It is dangerous and unhealthy to lock a kid in a dorm room all by himself, doing everything online with no human contact, with all this testing and all this nonsense. Get your kids the heck away from these places. And I'll tell you what, if enough parents pull their kids out, they'll have to change things to get them back. That's the problem. We're just not seeing enough people taking action that forces these institutions and places to change their ways. And I think that's what we've got to start focusing on early this year. You'll hear more on that from me later. So anyway, all in all, a very sad story. I feel my heart goes out to this family. The people at the university should be ashamed of themselves. The governor of Illinois should be ashamed of himself. Of course he's not. He isn't a real human, in my opinion. These are soulless, godless tyrants who don't care. They honestly expect anybody at this point in time to think that they care about anybody's safety. They don't care about anything. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. I don't know what motivates humans to do terrible, evil things. I've never understood it. I don't want to understand. I don't want to get that far inside somebody's head who's capable of doing what these people are doing. But I will tell you, if it takes till the end of my days, if it takes every dollar I have, I will work on making these people pay for what they did. I promise you that. That's my commitment. I read this stuff. It keeps me motivated. Believe me, it keeps me motivated. And till my dying day, we will go after these people until we make them pay for what they've done to families like this. And I hope more and more of you are feeling the same way. We all have to get busy. We all have to take our lives back, our countries back, and we've got to keep more of this bad stuff from happening. All right, that's it for today and for the week. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it, learning more about this debacle. I'll start posting forbidden videos again next week. That's it for now. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you again next Tuesday.